Hey guys, what's going on? Jerem Dastrup with Dental Intelligence, and I'm excited with our guest today. This is an individual that I met just over a year ago, and it was really love at first sight, I would say, because we met for the first time on a golf course. And I know she loves to golf, I love to golf, and it was a fun group of dental professionals and experts that spent the day golfing. And so without further ado, I want to introduce our guest. This is Dayna Johnson. She's a certified dentrix trainer, a dental professional, and a lover of all people. She's an incredible woman, and I love her vision to serve and train and make sure you as a dental professional is reaching your potential. And so I'll turn it over to Dayna. Get your notepads out, take some notes, and get ready. She's going to rock your world. Dayna, it's yours.
Thank you, Jerem. That was a great introduction. And yes, absolutely. We met on the golf course, and yeah, that was a really good time. So can't wait to golf with you again. That'll be great. So thank you for inviting me to share some tidbits of information about the Dentrix software and how to optimize your software and implement some new systems. That's definitely, my vision is to be a resource and be an advocate and, be a voice for all the Dentrix users out there in the world. And I'm hoping that, these sessions really help you to answer some questions and help to provide you with some best practices to better serve your Dentrix needs. So just a little bit more about, our topic today is definitely about a subject that not everybody might agree with me. They might just have some questions about the month-end process. But today I'm really going to drill down with you why month-end is so important. I'm not just about how to do things. I'm a lot about why you would do this, why you would do things in a certain way, because they affect, certain things within your practice management software. And, things inside your practice management software affect how your dental intel software will react to the Dentrix software. So it's really important to have those best practices in place. So Jerem did introduce me. This is just a little bit more about me. I've been a certified Dentrix trainer since 2005. So I'm going on my 15th year, which is amazing. I can't believe that I have been training for over 15 years. I actually started using Dentrix in 2003 and not really thinking that I was going to become a trainer. I actually took the certification course because I actually just wanted to learn more about Dentrix. I wanted to be an expert. I wanted to know everything that my software did because my entire day revolved around my software. And so, for those of you that are listening in, I've been in your shoes. I've worked in 2 dental practices, both up in the state of Washington. So I worked in two different dental practices, and I understand what your entire day looks like every day. I understand your workflow. I understand your systems. And so, everything that we're going to talk about today is not only things that I used in my own practice, but also the things that I've been teaching over the last 15, 20 years since I've been in dentistry. I've been in dentistry for over 25 years and been a trainer for 15 of those. And so I work with hundreds of different practices around the country. And so, as you watch this presentation, if you do have questions, Jerem and the team at DI is going to give you a link where you could reach out to me. And if you have a specific question, certainly post up your questions on this YouTube link in the comments section. So first, let's start off. Why is month end so important? And because I am amazed at how many practices just skip it. They don't think it's important, or they don't understand why it's so important. And so they kind of think that maybe just running reports is the month-end process. And in fact, I had a practice just reach out to me within the last couple of days. A doctor reached out to me And he's like, you know, it just doesn't look like my practice numbers are looking accurate, you know, and I run month-end reports every month. And, you know, I had to explain to him that running month-end reports is a lot different than running the month-end process. And so, you know, when we look at the month-end process, you know, probably one of the most important things is it secures your database. And, you know, when I'm working with practices and I go in as a Dentrix trainer, I always have the conversation with the doctor and the team is I'm not just here to help you optimize your Dentrix software, but I'm also here to help you protect your license. And so the doctors that are listening, it is really important that you take measures to protect your database. Your database is your livelihood. Your database is what protects your license. Because if you are ever subpoenaed for information, if you are ever part of an audit, your database is what is going to protect your license. And so the month-end process is part of that because it does secure your database. Month-end also gives you more accurate reports. You know, so working with Dental Intel over the past year, 2 years, you know, accurate report data is critical to you running a successful and a profitable business. Having accurate reports is what drives, you know, your systems. One of my famous lines that I use a lot is numbers tell a story, and your practice numbers are what, you know, make or break your systems, make or break if your practice is going to be profitable. And so having accurate data on your reports is really important. And then the third thing is running the month-end process. It really kind of cleans up your system. You know, it keeps the data more intact. And we'll get to this a little bit more, how it cleans up the system, but you can purge unscheduled appointments. You can even purge appointments off your appointment book. You know, if you've been a Dentrix user for 20 years and you have 20 years worth of appointments on your appointment book, you probably want to clean up that data a little bit, just because you kind of need to archive some of that stuff. And so, you know, that's another thing that the month-end process can do is help keep your system clean and up to date. So that's the why. Now let's look exactly at what does the month end do. And so back in the day, prior to G6.5, and so Dental Intel is going to offer you up a tip sheet that you can download. It's a PDF download that will kind of show you what month end, how the month end process worked prior to G6.5, and what the month end process looks like after G6.5. And so prior to G6.5, the Dentrix month end process, it used to do all of these tasks. It used to do all these processes all at the same time, like in one shot. It would do all of these things all together, and which people really didn't like. You know, it used to be that I don't want to run month end because I don't want it to lock up my clinical notes, or, you know, things like that. And so, you know, back in the day, I could see a lot of practices didn't run month end. Now what month end does is it separated out all of these tasks, so you can now individualize them, and you can run them whenever you want. So one of the first things that the month end process does is it ages your account balances. And so if you have account balance that is, you know, 30 days old right now, and you run month end, it's going to go into the 60-day, 61 to 90-day column. And so if you want your accounts to age, so that when you send out billing statements, or you are talking to the patient about, you know, you're running a collection report and you want to look at all of your over 90-day past due accounts, or you want to keep track of how much money do you have over 90 days past due, then aging your accounts is a really important part of the month-end process. So that's one of the first things that month-end does. Month-end then also, it moves the ending accounts receivable balance on certain reports into the beginning accounts receivable balance for the new month. So for example, if you're looking at the practice analysis report, you're looking at the provider AR totals report, those reports have a beginning and an ending accounts receivable balance. Also, if you're looking at the practice analysis reports. So any of those reports that show a beginning and an ending accounts receivable balance, the month-end process will affect those numbers. Third thing that the month-end process does is it does lock up your ledger transactions into history. So what that means is that any of the charges, payments, adjustments, those can no longer be edited or deleted. And so this is, like I said in the beginning, why should I run month-end? Well, to secure your database. And so you want to be able to secure that ledger history so that those line items, those transactions can't be deleted, cannot be edited. You just, as practice owners, it's really important that you secure the integrity of your database. Now, if you do, once you do lock up those ledger transactions into history, then what you can do, if you do need to make an adjustment onto the ledger, you can use an adjustment, either a credit or a debit adjustment, depending on what you need to do with the account balance. And the fourth thing is it locks up your clinical notes and your perio chart exams. Now these two things, I do put them in with the month-end process because it's typically, that is the most common time frame that most offices do put their clinical notes and everything into history. But you can also change the date of the clinical note and the perio exams, and you could lock those up on a daily basis or a weekly basis if you wanted to. The first three are on a monthly cycle only, but the clinical notes and the perio exams, you could put those on a daily cycle if you really wanted to. And then the last thing that the month end does, kind of as a separate task that it used to, is it updates the insurance benefits used amount. So if you have a insurance plan that has a renewal date of the next month, then it will reset the insurance benefits back to zero. And that's a pretty important thing, especially coming up into the more common renewal months like January. You know, when I was up in the state of Washington, we had a pretty large employer, Boeing, their plans renewed in July. And then, you know, a lot of school districts renew in September or October. So depending on whenever your big insurance plans renew their benefits, that's another task that the month-end process does. Now, there's a few other things that the month-end process can do, but these are the 5 most important things that the month-end does on the monthly basis. So how do I set it up? Okay, we heard why is month-end important. We learned that what does month-end do exactly, and then how do I set it up? So the month-end process, the task scheduler, can be found in 2 different places. It's still on the ledger. So for those of you that are used to the old month-end process back in the day, you can go to the ledger, go to the top of the ledger, you can see the month-end task scheduler, and you can open up the task scheduler from there. Or you can go to the office manager, click on maintenance, and then you'll find the task scheduler also under the maintenance tab. And then you need to assign the scheduled tasks. So that's what we're gonna look at next, is assigning the scheduled tasks. So when you open up the month-end task scheduler, it's gonna look something like this. Now, I know there are scroll bars on the sides. This is just a screenshot of what it looks like. And when you open this up, you're going to notice that you have on the left side, you have available tasks. And on the right side, you have scheduled tasks. Now, if you're just opening up the month-end task scheduler for the first time, and this is the first time you're going to be setting up the month-end tasks, then all of these things down the right side, they might say suspended. And so it's going to be important that you schedule these tasks to resume their scheduled operation. And so if you're setting this up for the first time and all of the tasks say suspended, then what you can do is just right click. So on this first one, close transactions, just right click on it and resume the task. Super easy. If you want to change the frequency, like maybe you only want to close transactions every 2 months or every 3 months, you do have that option. You can right click on the task and edit the queue, edit the series. So you can do that. So the first one here on the list, close transactions, this is the task that will age your account balances, lock up your ledger transactions, and move that ending accounts receivable balance into the beginning accounts receivable balance of the new month. So that's what the close transactions does. The next one, move perio exams to history. That's pretty self-explanatory. It locks up your perio exams, so you can no longer edit or delete a perio chart. Now, in my opinion, I think that I would move this into the daily task, but that's totally up to you. Move clinical notes to history. I also think that's pretty self-explanatory. That will lock up your clinical notes. And so, this is probably the biggest one that doctors, they hesitate to run month end, is because they want that ability to edit their clinical note, or they always think that maybe they forget things, or they want to give their clinical team more time to get the clinical notes done. But you have to think about, I really want you to think about when you had a paper chart. Think back of when you had a paper chart, and let's say it's a month or several days later or a month later, and maybe the patient has come in for another appointment and you need to go back and edit a previous note. What would you have to do? You might have to put a line through your writing and initial the edit. So kind of the same thing here. When you move your clinical notes into history, it does lock the note up as if you were writing in pen, so you can't erase anything. And then if you do need to edit the note, then you just do an addendum. So it allows you to add a change to the clinical note. It date and time stamps it for you, and you can sign it. So you can put your initials next, your name next to the addendum. So it is a more secure way, a better way of protecting your license if you do lock up your clinical notes on a regular basis. And then if you do need to edit that note, just do an addendum. And then the fourth thing here, this is reset insurance benefits. So like we just talked about, if this task says it is suspended, please just right click on it and resume the task. This is how it resets the benefits used back to zero. So, we're about coming up on January here, and January is probably one of the biggest renewal months. So when you run your December month end, then it will reset the insurance benefits back to zero for all your plans where the benefit renewal month is January. So pretty important step there, especially when you are, putting together treatment plan estimates for the patient, and you are wanting to give the patient an accurate estimate. In fact, I had somebody just today, they were messaging me on Facebook because they were noticing that they were putting together treatment plan estimates, and it kept showing that the patient was maxed out. And when they looked back on the patient ledger, it only showed on the ledger that they had used $100 of their $1,500 maximum. So she couldn't figure out why it kept showing that the patient was maxed out, and they hadn't referred the patient to any specialists, and the patient hadn't used benefits at any other office, and she could not figure out why the benefits were showing that she was maxed out. So we kind of went through a few troubleshooting things. We checked the plan to make sure that the plan renewal month was accurate. And then I had her check her month-end log here that we're going to look at here in a second. It was because the month-end hadn't ran. And so she took some steps to fix that. And then, I just asked her, let me know after January if it fixes itself. And so that was one thing that she didn't realize, was that the reset insurance benefits just hadn't been set up on her month end. So that was a pretty big step, because it really does define how accurate your insurance estimates are for your treatment plans. And then the fifth thing on this list, recalculate totals. This really helps to keep your totals accurate. For example, I don't know if any of you ever had the chance of being on the phone with support and you're looking at your practice analysis, and they used to talk about those 4 magic numbers that always had to balance. This just makes sure that those are always balanced. And because what can happen is, sometimes if you are, maybe you're posting a payment, or maybe you're posting a transaction or something, and right in the middle of it, you might get a power surge or something, or, just little things happen with software. And so sometimes that can throw off your account balances. Like sometimes you might see that your ledger balance, it shows $1 amount, but then when you print a billing statement, it might show a different dollar amount. And so the recalculate totals just kind of make sure that all those weird things that happen, like if we have power surges, or if something just goes awry in the software, the recalculate totals just kind of make sure that your system is accurate, your ending balances are always balancing out correctly. So that's important. So those are the 5 most important things. Of course, there are other things that you can do during month end, but for example, if you're using future due payment plans, or if you're applying finance charges, you can certainly add those types of things into your scheduled tasks. But I did want to just stress about the 5 most important things that you should have running on your month end in order to hold the integrity of your data, secure your database, protect your license, and then have accurate reports. All right, so then what? I got that all set up. I understand month end. Dayna, you've drilled it into my head, and I get it. Now I'm going to get my month end set up. I know how to do it now. Then what's next? Well, set it up to run automatically. So you can have it run like in the middle of the night, so that it doesn't disrupt your day. And then the workstation that you set it up to run automatically, make sure that workstation doesn't get turned off. I was working with a practice a few weeks ago, and we found that the reason why certain portions of their month end was running is because they did shut that workstation off every night. And so we made sure that they can lock the workstation so that it stays on, but that we wanted to make sure that all those tasks ran on the right day. And then always make sure to check the view log. And so, when you open up your task scheduler, in the lower left corner of the task scheduler, there's a view log. And so you always want to check the log just to make sure that all the tasks are completing successfully. You want to make sure that, you might set it up to run automatically, but then something might go wrong. Something might not run when it's supposed to. There's always things that happen with software, and nothing's perfect. And so you just always want to double check. It's it's kind of like running a day sheet. You know, you always want to double check your numbers, make sure that things are accurate, make sure that things get posted correctly. You just want to check the view log just to make sure that all the tasks in your month end always run when they're supposed to, and they are completing successfully so that you have a successful month end. All right, so that was a good tutorial about month end. I hope that you download the tip sheet that is going to be in the details here on this YouTube video, so you can download that tip sheet for your reference. And then you can also click on that landing page that's available if you want more information or you want to reach out to me directly. You certainly can do that. Here's all the different ways that you can get a hold of me. You can certainly send me an email. You can, text to my phone. Just make sure if you ever text me that you tell me who you are, what office you're from, maybe how you heard about me. It's always a good way to stay connected. You can find us on all of our all my social media channels and all of that. So I really appreciate the opportunity to give you guys some information about month end, and hopefully your next month end will be successful and all your data will be high integrity. And I look forward to seeing you on our next YouTube video with Dental Intel. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Dayna, thank you so much. I have to admit, I'm going to embarrass myself here. I haven't sat through any training like that. That was awesome. And guys, for those that are watching this, I'm not a licensed dental professional, right? I'm new to dentistry. I'm a couple years into this. And so my exposure to a lot of our practice management softwares, their functionality, I'm in the trench right now learning with you. And I love how Dayna took us through a process in a very simple, digestible way. It wasn't overwhelming where there was a lot of busy work that had to happen. But what I took away from that was simply, Dentrix has done an amazing job in creating tools to help you in the disciplines that are necessary to run a profitable and effective practice. Patient care is there. They feel like they're a part of something, that they're being taken care of from their healthcare providers. And then from the business standpoint, these reminders and these reports and these things that you can set in place to ensure that everything is on track is there for you. And Dayna did an awesome job on just a couple of those things to help your month end be better, and how to start the next month with a bang, right? And so thank you, Dayna. We appreciate you and the partnership that we have with you, and to all of our viewers who took the time to listen to this message and training. And so until then, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you, Dayna, and everyone, have a great day. We'll see ya.
Thank you.